Are US-aligned allies sliding into deeper infighting as tensions rise and retaliatory moves reshape regional dynamics? Drones launched from Iraqi airspace target Saudi Arabia, escalating threats against Washington's key Arab partner. Unmanned aerial vehicles breach Saudi airspace even as the UAE reports a separate drone strike from its western flank. Iran remains in the background as Gulf nations grapple with internal rivalries and mounting security challenges. Could escalating tit-for-tat strikes ignite a wider Gulf conflict even without direct Iranian involvement? Saudi Arabia announced that 3 drones were intercepted after entering its airspace from Iraq, highlighting ongoing cross-border security concerns. The drones were detected on the morning of May 17 and were neutralized shortly after they crossed into Saudi airspace, according to official statements. The Kingdom's Ministry of Defense Saudi Arabia said it reserves the right to respond at a time and place of its choosing to such incidents. The ministry described the drone activity as a direct threat targeting the kingdom's sovereignty as well as its broader national security interests. This development comes weeks after Saudi Arabia summoned Iraq's ambassador over similar concerns related to drone activity and cross-border security issues. On April 12, Saudi authorities formally protested against drone attacks that Riyadh said had originated from Iraqi territory. Iraq continues to remain affected by wider regional tensions involving the United States, Israel, and Iran. In recent months, attacks have targeted both US-linked facilities and Iran-backed armed groups operating across different parts of Iraq. Iran-aligned militias in Iraq have previously claimed responsibility for attacks on what they described as enemy bases across the region. Reports indicate that Saudi fighter jets carried out strikes on targets linked to Tehran-backed Shiite militias operating within Iraqi territory. According to a report by Reuters, retaliatory strikes were also launched from Kuwait into Iraq. Reuters reported on May 13, citing multiple sources familiar with the developments, including Iraqi security officials and a Western official. According to Reuters, the report cited 3 Iraqi security and military officials, along with 1 Western official, as sources familiar with the developments. A Western official cited in the report said that some of the strikes are believed to have taken place around April 7. One set of strikes reportedly targeted militia positions in southern Iraq during April, as per the same report. These strikes resulted in casualties among fighters and led to the destruction of a facility used by Kataib Hezbollah. The targeted sites were reportedly locations from which drone and missile attacks had been launched towards Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia condemned a drone strike near a nuclear facility in the United Arab Emirates, warning that the incident could pose a broader regional security threat. The attack on May 17 reportedly targeted an electricity generator located outside the Baraka nuclear plant in Abu Dhabi. Riyadh stated that the strike threatens regional stability and reaffirmed its full support for the UAE's sovereignty and security in the aftermath of the incident. Saudi Arabia also categorically rejected the attack during diplomatic communication with the UAE, according to Iran International. UAE Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan held a series of calls with regional counterparts to discuss the developments following the strike. Kuwait and Bahrain also condemned the incident, describing it as a dangerous escalation in an already tense regional environment. Kuwait said that targeting peaceful nuclear facilities violates international law and poses risks to civilian populations as well as the environment. Bahrain reiterated its solidarity with the UAE and praised the country's air defense systems for responding promptly to the perceived threat. Ahmed Abal-Gheit expressed relief after confirming that the fire resulting from the incident had been successfully contained. As Gulf countries expressed unified support for the UAE, Riyadh also reported drone incursions originating from what it described as Iraqi airspace. The UAE's nuclear regulator confirmed that there was no impact on the plant's safety, stating that all operational systems remained stable and fully functional. Authorities in the UAE have not yet identified the origin of the drone or the party responsible for carrying out the attack. The incident comes amid a fragile understanding between the United States and Iran, alongside ongoing efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Notably, this is not the first such incident involving the UAE since the April ceasefire, indicating continued underlying tensions in the region. On May 4th, a fire broke out at the Fujairah oil depot, which the UAE later attributed to a drone attack it said was carried out by Iran. After the Baraka nuclear scare, the UAE acknowledged that the hostile drones had entered its airspace from the western border, a detail that immediately set off speculation about where they were launched. Abu Dhabi authorities said air defenses intercepted 2 unmanned aerial vehicles, while a third managed to reach an electrical generator facility linked to the Baraka complex and trigger a fire. The Emirati Defense Ministry stressed that investigations are still underway, signaling that, at least officially, they are not yet ready to attribute responsibility to any state or group. Officials have promised that more details will be released once the probe is completed, effectively asking both domestic and foreign audiences to hold off judgment for now. At the same time, the UAE underlined that its forces remain ready to respond to future security threats, framing the incident as serious but contained within its broader defense posture. On May 17th, a drone strike caused a fire at an electrical generator associated with the Baraka nuclear power plant, instantly raising alarms about the vulnerability of critical energy infrastructure. The attack occurred in the Al Dhafar region and, crucially, outside the plant's heavily protected inner perimeter, allowing Emirati officials to stress that the reactor itself was never in direct danger. Abu Dhabi's media office reported that no injuries were recorded and that radiological safety levels remained unchanged, seeking to calm fears of any nuclear leak or contamination. Authorities emphasized that the blaze was quickly contained by emergency teams and did not breach any of Baraka's core nuclear safety systems, framing the incident as a security warning rather than a nuclear accident. So far, the UAE Defense Ministry has publicly maintained that the source of the drone attack is unknown, keeping its official language carefully neutral. Unlike previous incidents, Abu Dhabi has pointedly avoided directly accusing Iran, a notable change in tone that has fueled speculation about other possible culprits. Iran's Tasnim news agency quickly raised questions about possible Saudi involvement, highlighting regional rivalries and hinting at tensions that go beyond the usual Iran-UAE narrative. Tasnim claimed that relations between Riyadh and Abu Dhabi have recently entered a cold phase, suggesting that political friction could now be spilling over into the security realm. All of this is unfolding as Saudi Arabia and the UAE increasingly disagree over key parts of regional security strategy, from Iran and Yemen to energy policy and ties with Israel.